Okay, and we are live with Sarah from Australia. Thanks for coming on the podcast today.
Thanks for having me.
So, can you give us a little background of, where you came from and how you got started in the digital nomad life?
Yes, so I'm from Melbourne, Australia. I originally was a property lawyer for 11 years.
Hmm.
And I still dabble in property law. But during COVID, it kind of showed me that I got a taste of remote working because Melbourne was one of the most locked down cities in the world. So we were remote for about 2 years. And
Hmm.
then law just came a bit flexible. So it allowed everybody to work remotely. So I got to experience a little bit of that. And then the pressure of law and then COVID kind of made me rethink about what I want to do with my life. So I decided to leave law and start my own business, which is associated with property law, but it's a step back. So I opened a conveyancing business, which is just buying and acting for people who buy, sell, transfer property. And I made that completely remote. So it's the first time in my life I haven't had to be in a place. I've had no commitments that tie me down to a particular area. So I decided, why not try the digital nomad experience and travel?
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, it seems like COVID is like all the guests I've had so far, it seems like COVID was the kind of starting point for their digital nomad life.
Yeah, I wouldn't have probably left law if it wasn't for COVID. I was on the career progression to be a partner. And I don't think I would have known what it was like to be a remote worker or even considered that to be an option for me because I was very A-type personality, building my
Mhm.
career, um, a lot of work.
Right. So when you transitioned into like starting your own business and going fully remote, was that a difficult transition for you, or was that, pretty smooth?
It wasn't too difficult because of COVID. With law was very rigid, but because of COVID, we had to introduce mechanisms where, say, documents were signed electronically. We were doing video chats like this. Everything just became easier to do electronically, which is huge because the law doesn't shift very easily. So it kind of made it easy to progress into having remote businesses. And
Hmm.
yeah, COVID set the path basically and change the laws very dramatically to allow me to do what I'm doing today. If COVID didn't happen, I don't know if it'll be possible to do what I'm doing.
Okay. Wow. So COVID just made it a lot more like flexible and easier to work remotely. That's
Yeah.
cool. And so what exactly is I know you said licensed conveyancer? What I'm not familiar
Yeah.
with like law or anything like that. So how how would you
That's
describe
okay.
your work?
So it's basically acting for anyone who buys, sells, transfers property in Victoria, Australia. So I'm very limited in what I can do. So it's only Victoria, Australia, just
Hmm.
because the legislation within property law is very different. So I focus on that particular area and market.
Okay, I see. So you're limited to that one area. And would it be possible to expand from that area, or you're kind
I
of stuck
could.
there?
No, I could expand, but I don't want to because I'm good at what I do, and it the legal liability is huge if you expand to areas you don't know. So I could technically open my own law firm and become a lawyer again and practice anywhere, but I just wouldn't be willing to take that risk because I own every. We use a sale of lands act, and it's very different for every single state and every country. So property is different from every state and every country. It's just yeah, it's a very complex system.
Okay, cool. And then yeah, so I guess what was the first place you went once you were able to work fully remote? Did you kind of travel
So
around
I'm
Australia first, or?
Yeah, so I've only been to a couple of places. I've traveled a lot within Australia. My friends live in Queensland, so I spent some time there. I also did a lot of dog sitting and house sitting for people. So I travel remotely when people need me for that. And I've been to Bali and Vietnam. So I'm just dabbling in the digital nomad experience. I'm not a complete digital nomad. I don't travel constantly from country to country. Australia is still my base, especially for tax purposes. But yeah, I just dabble and I can have the flexibility to travel wherever I want within the same time zone because I have a very I still work kind of 9 to 5.
Oh, right. Right. Yeah, I guess that's the good thing about Australia though, is you're in the time zone of like Bali, Thailand, Vietnam. You're still
Yeah, which are the three countries that I are circulating near, just because they are like, it's a 3 hour time zone difference from where I am, Vietnam, at the moment. So it's not it's manageable.
okay, nice. And do you have any so far do you have any favorite places you've been?
I'm so easily pleased, and I love all the countries that I visit. Bali and Vietnam are very different, but I love them both for their own unique qualities. And I would highly recommend going to both countries to visit. And I'll probably say the same to Thailand when I go and I'm a digital nomad there. I just think each country is unique in its own way, and they're beautiful to just spend some time with.
Do you have you had any kind of challenges when you're traveling and working remote? Did you run into
Yeah, of
anything?
course.
Yeah, yeah.
When you're
What
a
have,
digital nomad, I feel like, especially someone that's come from the corporate world for 11 years, you're used to things being a certain way. You're used to having the equipment being set up. You're used to consistency. And obviously, being a digital nomad, you can have consistency. And I usually do stick to like a co working space or a co living space that's very the same. But when I went to Bali for the first time, my laptop broke the second day I was there. So
oh,
luckily I had
okay.
another laptop that I could use. But yeah, so you have like computer issues, and then I've had phone issues where my company just cut off my phone.
Hmm.
So I had to try and get that done from overseas. You have when you go to Bali, there's obviously Bali, so the sickness there that everyone usually gets.
Right. Yeah.
There's connection of cards for like Grab and Gojek that people have issues with, that I have had issues with. It's just like little things like that where you just little hiccups along the way, but it makes traveling and being a digital nomad kind of interesting. And when you're overseas, you kind of just shake it off. If I was at home and my laptop broke, I would have a panic attack and probably be really upset. But when I was overseas, it's just like, I have travel insurance, whatever it happens, I'll figure it out. And you just figure it out and you're less stressed and you just deal with it. So
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of part of the experience, I feel like, when you're traveling, you get a
Yeah,
lot
there's always a
of
good story
struggles.
to tell as well. It just makes a good story.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, that's cool. So you were doing corporate work for 11 years and then
Yeah,
transitioned.
so
A long time.
I still dabble in the corporate world. I still have a part-time job. So I do 2 days a week. I do 2 full days a week, but 3 hours a day at a law firm in Melbourne. So that gives me my consistent pay that comes in. So I have a consistent income, which I can rely on. And then I have my business, which I do full time. So I do still dabble. I'm a unique digital nomad. I'm very risk averse, so I still have a consistent income and security, but then I am still doing my own thing, and both jobs are completely remote. So yeah, I'm kind of, I guess, a good way for people that want to look at becoming a digital nomad but don't want to step out like immediately and just quit everything and go. I still have a foot in each door.
Right. Yeah, that's smart. That's a good idea. But which one are you getting your main source of income from? Is that from your business or from
Yeah, so it's
the
from
work?
my part-time work. I actually my business, all my money sits in my business, and I take it out at tax time. So at the moment I have money sitting in my business. I also have money sitting in my savings, and I also have my income coming in. But I only rely on my part-time job to provide me with my everyday living. I have about a year's salary saved for my as a backup when I decided to start my own business, and then I
Mhm.
still have money sitting in my business. So I'm very fortunate, and I can live just off my part-time job.
Nice. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
That's great. Yeah, I'm sure, especially when you're living in, countries with lower cost of living, it's a lot easier. Um,
it's definitely a lot easier, which is why a lot of people in my situation, especially those who left the corporate world, do what I'm doing when they do a startup or they start a company or their own business. It's really, you can still have a similar lifestyle to what you were used to, because obviously being a lawyer, you have a very nice lifestyle, you get paid quite well, and then to start off on your own is very hard. and you have to change your
Right.
lifestyle accordingly. And yeah, so I think a lot of people go to these type of countries. One, because you get to relax and enjoy a different culture, but two, you get a similar lifestyle experience for much less money.
Right, exactly. Nice. And do you have any other kind of side hustles you're working on, or just those two for now?
Those two for now. I do my I do house sit, which I get paid for, a dog sit, that I only do for really friends. And then there's a couple of side things I do and charity works I do, and I'm on a couple of boards, but mostly it's just, yeah, the part-time job and business.
Okay, nice. Nice. And is that pet sitting in Australia, or do you do that in other countries as well?
Only Australia, and it's only
Oh,
from friends of friends or family or like or friends of family. Or I'm just like I just started to help people out because obviously I can work remotely anywhere. So it doesn't matter where I am unless I have Wi-Fi. So I just started doing it for a favor, and then a lot of people started contacting me, so I actually get paid now to do that. So that's kind of like, I guess, a side hustle, but not really. Just it just started to happen.
okay, nice. Yeah, because I've heard of like house sitting. That seems to be a popular way for digital nomads to get free accommodation when they're traveling. They like sign up
Yeah,
for house sitting. But hmm,
I haven't
yeah, that's
explored
cool.
that, but I've just been doing it for friends. Yeah.
Okay, nice. And where do you what kind of places do you stay when you're doing the digital nomad life? Do you do like Airbnb or co-living?
No, I'm not
No.
adventurous, so I
Okay.
do co-living, which is kind of unusual here in Bali. Co-living is very popular, especially when you start out because there's so many places like Bali, especially Canggu, is just there's digital nomads everywhere. So you just walk out the street and you find a digital nomad. And there's so many homesteads, there's so many places you can stay, and there's so many co-living options. So I stayed in a co-living option in Bali, which was very different from a co-living option here in Vietnam. In Bali, I stayed with, I think there was like 10 people. We all had our main rooms and ensuite, a separate room and ensuite surrounded by a pool, and then we shared a common kitchen and bathroom. So you were like talking to a lot of people. I constantly was like, I made friends as soon as I arrived. We went away for the weekend together and hired this amazing villa. You're just always out to dinner with people, doing events, going out to bars. Like it's very social, Bali, and you don't have to really make friends. They're kind of just there already. But Vietnam is a bit different for me. I'm staying in a studio apartment, so you have your own. Most of them have their own kitchen, so you don't really communicate with other people. And the digital nomad
Hmm.
scene, there is one. So I'm part of like 3 or 4 events, but you have to like tap into that. And as soon as you tap into that and go out of your comfort zone and go to like a networking event, you'll meet people. But it's not just instantly there like it is in Bali. So
In Bali.
I'm very co-living, so you can get to meet people. Yeah. So Bali's more like instant for me, instant friends. Vietnam was like it made you work for it.
Okay, I see. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. I haven't been to Bali yet, but I guess Bali would be best for like the first time digital nomad.
I think Bali was an amazing first time. Like I still talk to the people. I was there in I think November, and I still talk to the people in Bali, and that's the reason I'm going back because I still have friends over there. So yeah, you make it an amazing friends, amazing connections super quick.
Okay, that's awesome. Nice. So you can make long-term friends from this. So,
Yeah, like I personally did. I'm a person that keeps people in my life. I still have friends from kindergarten, primary school, high school, and every job I've been at. So I do keep friends, but I think people do naturally keep in contact because you're traveling a lot. You kind of understand each other. You form a little community, and it's nice, especially when people go back and forth to their home country. It's like you just have these people that understand what it's like to travel.
right, yeah. Yeah, that's cool because like yeah, a lot of people say like being a digital nomad can be lonely. That's why a lot of people end up stopping being a nomad, but I guess that's not true.
I Yeah, like I don't find that, but I also am part of like I'm okay with saying goodbye to people for now that because I'm part of another community which is skydiving. I've been part of that for a while, and you constantly say hi and bye to people because people are traveling from all over the world and you just meet people briefly or from states. So I'm used to just having those like quick connections and then they go off and you meet them again or you talk to them online. I know a couple of people that are digital nomads who aren't very good at saying goodbye. They do struggle because it is hard to form connections with people pretty quickly and then have to say goodbye to them, especially like you're meeting someone for 1 to 3 months, you're spending so much time with them, you're sharing all these amazing experiences, and then you have to say goodbye. And some people find that really hard. And some people actually stop traveling because of that. Whereas I don't find that's the case for me. I like meeting new people, having new experiences and keeping in touch with them. And it doesn't make me sad to say just goodbye.
Right, right. Yeah. Yeah, I saw on your Instagram you wrote skydiver. So did that start in Australia or is that like a worldwide community?
It's definitely a worldwide community. I mainly jump in Australia. I've only jumped in Australia and Fiji, but I've been part of that community for about 8 years now, and I've got over 1,000 jumps. So I'm pretty
Wow.
I've been like I organize events. I'm chair of a board. I'm a judge. I'm very integrated in the skydiving community.
Okay. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. 1,000 jumps. And those are all, how many do you need to do before you can do the solo jump? 'Cause I've done it with with the
The
instructor
tandem.
before once. Yeah, the tandem. So,
You can realistically, anyone can go and start the AF course, which is the course to start jumping solo. So you can go without any jumps and do your AF course, which means you do in Australia, you do a whole day of studying. So you study, I think you study every which way you could die and what could go wrong.
okay.
But you study your equipment and you understand what it's like when you're in emergency. And then they give you an understanding of skydiving. And then the next day, usually you jump out with 2 instructors, and they hold you while you do certain maneuvers. And then hopefully you'll pull the parachute on your own, and then you've got a microphone, like a speaker in your ear, directing you how to fly down. So you can do that without any jumps. So you can jump technically solo, but you still have instructors next to you, but you can jump solo without any experience whatsoever.
Oh, wow, that's awesome and terrifying at the same time.
Yeah. It's actually safer than you think. You've got people hanging on to you, keeping you safe. And if you don't pull your parachute, someone will pull it for you. You've also got an emergency. You've got someone in your ear the whole time. You're on a big parachute, so you're unlikely to hurt yourself. There's a lot of safety features, especially in Australia. We're very safety conscious. So it's scary. It is scary, but it's relatively safe. As safe as you can be when you jump out of a plane.
Right. Right. So have you done skydiving in other countries too, or just Australia?
I've jumped in Fiji, which was beautiful, and that's the only place that I've been. I've done a lot of indoor skydiving in Europe and Malaysia, but yeah, with jumping, I'm kind of a princess. I'm very safety conscious, so I like jumping in Victoria or Australia. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Nice. And then yeah, I guess getting back to traveling. So before you became a digital nomad, did you do a lot of traveling? Like when you were working as a lawyer for 11 years, did you travel on
Yeah,
your
I
vacations?
traveled. I traveled when you had 4 weeks off. I used all of that time to travel. I was very work hard, play hard. So when I was younger, it was all with basically snowboarding. I was in love with snowboarding. I traveled to America, New Zealand, Japan for snowboarding. And then when I started to get into skydiving, I started traveling to different countries for skydiving or for indoor skydiving. So I've done quite a lot of travel when I was able to, not crazy amounts. Like I wasn't a huge traveler, but I did those 4 weeks off. I always went somewhere to travel.
Okay, nice. Wow, so is 4 weeks the standard in Australia for like vacation time?
You well, we have actually it's two. I'm so bad now. I forget how much Australians legally have. I think it's 2 weeks.
Okay.
2 weeks you legally have off, and then you have all the public holidays. So it's
Okay.
about maybe 3.5 maybe weeks, including public holidays.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, because I know like Australians, like stereotypically, they're always traveling a lot and taking career breaks or time off from work.
Yeah, we're very good at um, having fun and play
Yeah.
and enjoying
Yeah.
ourselves. Australians are known for that.
Yeah, exactly. So, so when you meet other digital nomads, what countries do they tend to be from? Or are they just from all over the place usually?
All over the place. Here in Vietnam, there's actually a lot of Canadians. The people that I'm hanging out with, there's a lot of Canadians, people from the UK, so Americans. I haven't really met many Australians, although I'm
Hmm.
sure they're here. I just haven't connected. There's a couple New Zealand people from, they're from all over really, it's from Europe. Everyone's just from everywhere. They've got a very wide range of people.
Okay, nice. And what kind of, I don't know if you asked them, but what kind of like work do they do? Is there some kind of common trends or are they
Oh, it's
mostly
all different types. So
okay.
you have very like you have a lot of, I wouldn't say standard, but standard kind of digital nomad jobs. So IT, digital marketing, website designs, SEO. So you have like a lot of people focusing on that. But then you also have we have one person that's a linguistic coach. So
Hmm.
he speaks like 11 languages, and he doesn't just speak, like he doesn't just teach people how to speak the language, even though he can do that. He also teaches people how to learn multiple languages, or just to teach people how their brain can absorb or understand languages easier and can teach themselves better. Um, there's a couple of people starting podcasts or websites. You have a couple of corporate people, but not like me, but in that are kind of in that field. But most of them are, yeah, IT, web developers, SEOs, and those type of things. Just because and digital marketers and um, yeah, people focusing on social media and things like that.
Right, right. Yeah, those seem to be the most popular ways. Have you met any
Yeah,
other digital nomad lawyers along your journey?
I haven't, but people told me there was one before me here in Vietnam that was a lawyer. But I think it's would be there could be, there's a lot of people with law degrees out in the world, so I wouldn't be surprised if
Right.
there's a lot of people with law degrees out there. But being a lawyer and traveling is quite hard. There's a lot of I guess
Mm,
different. It's a new concept for law firms. They're very old school. There's also security reasons as well,
hmm.
privacy, and a lot of things like that. So yeah, it's not. I guess it's not unheard of, but it's very rare to spot another lawyer.
Right. Yeah, I've never heard of a digital nomad lawyer before, actually. So you're the first one.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah, that's really, really cool though. So do
Yeah, it's unusual. Yeah, it's very unusual. I've used kind of, I'm not the normal digital nomad. Like I met someone today, actually the other day, she was part of our networking group. I'm part of a female entrepreneur networking group here. And she's just taken some time off to study. That she said that I'm the first person she's met that kind of still dabbles in the corporate world. So
mhm.
she's looking at maybe going back and seeing if she can even just take a month where it's remote working so that she can get a taste for it. And if she likes it, she might slowly move into consulting. So she still wants to, she loves her job, but I think she wants to defer from that path and more be remote and digital nomad. So, yeah, there's not many of us that do what I do, but
Mhm.
it's a nice way to still dabble and to see if you like it, and then you can go all in if you want to.
Right, exactly. So yeah, I guess it'll be easier in the future, because maybe now it's just kind of the start of it, and then maybe 5 or 10 years from now it'll be even more common.
I hope
But
so, for people's sake. Like it's It's amazing. If I can talk anyone into being a digital nomad, I would say do it. It's like, even if you can just get your job to allow you 2 weeks remote working, or even longer if you could do a month, it's amazing. It's the best life.
Right. Yeah, that sounds incredible. But
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, so did you have to kind of do some convincing for your corporate job to let you work remote, or they just kind of
No.
no, no.
I was employed on that basis. So my previous job wouldn't have allowed me to do this, but because I'm very specialized, I'm experienced, and I work for a family law firm, I just do the property side. So I can have a lot of leniency, and I can do my job no matter where. So for me, it was easy. It wasn't a bargaining chip I had to do. It was that was a condition of me kind of being employed, that I wouldn't have to work from the office. So, but I know other people are using it as a bargaining chip to say, like, I'm this experienced, I meet my billables or targets. Now, can you let me be a remote worker, or just negotiate how many days they can be in the office? So it's something I didn't have to face, because it was a prerequisite when I started.
Okay, nice. Nice, that's great. And I guess, do you have any advice for, somebody who wants to take a path similar to yours to become a digital nomad? I know you have kind of a unique story and a unique job to do remotely, but do you think it's a good way to go for someone?
Oh, yes. I would recommend, if you don't want to do, like, if you're risk adverse like me and just want to see what it's like, just to kind of dip your toe in the digital nomad waters, I would honestly say, if you can get 2 weeks to a month just and to work remotely with your business, if you can just ask that and just to experience it, start if you want in Canggu, because it's a very easy place to start. Stay in a co-living space, have a co-working space. There's so many there. Have a consistency and just get a taste of it to see if you like it. And then if you like it,
Mhm.
a lot of people in my position or more corporate positions you can become a consultant, or there's other ways around it, or you can just negotiate maybe that every, I don't know, 3 to 4 months you do 2 weeks remote work somewhere, and you can just get a taste of it. And then if you really, really like it, then you can start doing consulting, or start your own business, or you can look into other areas, because the more people you meet when you're at Digital Nomads, you just like, your head explodes with the possibilities of what you can do, because there's so many possibilities out there, and there's everyone's story is pretty unique of how they became a digital nomad. And they're very good at brainstorming and just helping each other out. So I think, like, just get your foot in the door, just start, and then yeah, see if you like it, and then you can decide from there.
Awesome. Cool. So do you think you'll ever go back to a 9 to 5 in an office again? Or
No, not a 9 to 5 in office. Like, obviously, I work kind of still 9 to 5 hours, but I
all
won't go
right.
back to a 9 to 5 office. So I will always, not always. I can't say never. I thought I would never not be a lawyer and leave a law firm.
Okay.
So I could go back there again, but for the foreseeable future, no, I won't go back to the traditional office sense. I just I think once you get a taste of it and you like it, um, you can't go back.
Right,
It would
yeah.
be very hard to.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I've done, digital nomad on and off for the past few years. So yeah, I don't think
And
I
now
can
you've
go
got a
back.
taste of it, and you won't go back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. It's
yeah,
yeah,
it's addictive. Yeah, and you have freedom and choice, and there's so many possibilities. It's just opens up a whole new world. It's just it's really incredible, actually. We're very fortunate to be able to do what we do.
right, right. It's like the first time in human history that it's possible. So
Yeah, like,
yeah.
you don't have to rent or buy a house in close proximity to your work. You can choose wherever you want. You can explore all the places you want to explore and live wherever you want to live. And I think that's amazing. Like, it's a really cool opportunity. And I think if you make that, like, risk, then digital nomads are rewarded with having all those choices and all those experiences. So I think, yeah, it's a very cool thing.
Yeah, exactly. So nice. So we've got about 2 minutes left in the Zoom, kind of limited to 40 minutes. So do you have any final
That's
things you'd
okay.
like to add, or where can people find you online?
Oh, if you ever need a conveyancer in Victoria,
Yeah.
my business conveyancing assist. But I have a blog for alopecia, which you can find me on the Ball Girl Diaries, or you can follow me on Instagram, which is Sarah MH23. But yeah, I'm not really a social media person, but they're my kind of different handles.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for coming on today, Sarah. It's very nice talking with you.
Thank you for having me. Super nice talking to you too.